Wow, certainly was a devastating tragedy, and my condolences with all those affected and the victims. My deepest sympathies with them. You cannot even imagine how hard it would have been on them. To all my fellow Sri Lankans, Ayubowan, traditional Sri Lankan greeting, because that's who we are. To start, I want to thank each and every one of you for standing up for all the Muslims in this country, or in other words, for standing up for me. Without me or any other Muslims justifying themselves or explaining themselves, you guys understood us. You guys understood us without us speaking a single word. That's angelic. And we had to take a moment to thank you guys. So that's what I thought. I'd take a moment. Thank you all, beautiful hearts. However, not every Sri Lankan citizen thinks that all Muslims are innocent citizens in this country, or that most Muslims are innocent citizens in this country. And it's totally understandable. It's natural for them to feel this way because it is human behavior to stereotype against a group following the same beliefs as a tiny group of twisted retards who use this same belief as an excuse for their crimes, when this very belief is not known by the people stereotyping. If you know what I mean. They don't understand what Islam says because they don't know what it is. So when these heinous crimes are done and Islam is put forward as an excuse, it's natural for them to believe it. So everybody says, terrorism has no religion, and as much as it's true, I don't think a social media post can convince anybody. Everybody's saying it, but it's not convincing anybody who previously had a different mindset. So I thought I had to take it a step further, and that's why I'm doing this video to try and clarify certain things. I'm calling out to the youth of this country because I believe that the youth is the demographic which can impact the society the most. So I believe that by me calling out to the youth, I believe that there will be a certain effect, a positive effect. I don't care what belief system you follow. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what race you are. If you're a Sri Lankan, then my brother, my sister, I'm talking to you. We need to understand the real problem. The real problem is how we categorize these terrorists. You can choose to categorize them as Muslims, but you can also choose to categorize them as colored skin radicals. You can choose to categorize them the way you want. You can choose to categorize them as males who are causing trouble. Women can choose to say men are the cause of troubles. White skin can choose to say colored skin are the cause of all trouble. Or a fellow Sri Lankan could say Muslims are the cause of trouble. Or Muslims could say this particular division of Muslims are the cause of trouble. So it's all on how we choose to divide it or categorize them. Why should we categorize? Why should we put these guys into a category where there are also innocent people? You can categorize them as terrorists, but you can't possibly. It's not fair. It really isn't. So that's why I thought it's important to enlighten people who genuinely want an explanation. We are colored skinned people ourselves, meaning in white countries we usually are discriminated. We understand what it feels like. We know how it feels like. If somebody with color skin was to go and commit a heinous crime tomorrow in the Western world, and if the Western world was to point fingers at us, or all the innocent colored skinned people. It would not be fair. We will be natural. Why? We'd get angry, we'd get hurt. When we are discriminated ourselves, we should understand how this works. In unity there is strength. We cannot possibly divide now. We cannot possibly split ourselves now. We gotta remember, the same people that have been taunted, the same people that are being teased, are the same people that were in queues to donate blood, the same people that prayed for the injured's recovery, just as much as everybody else. I want us to have a look back in time, when women had no rights. It was a long and hard fight for women to get rights, and they succeeded. They got starting off their voting rights all the way till all the rights they needed as a human being. They got it. But we need to see how they fought for it. They did not divide themselves as, okay, you're a woman of color, you're a black-skinned woman, you're a white-skinned woman, or you follow this religion, you follow that religion. All the women were together. They fought together. In unity, there was strength, and they succeeded. I mean, we need to look back 70 years ago, when the Portuguese invaded Sri Lanka. How do we get rid of them? We used the help of the Dutch. We got rid of the Portuguese. Then to get rid of the Dutch, we used the help of the British. And how do we get rid of the British? By using each other's help. And that led to independence. It's about loving each other, it's about caring for each other, and it's about helping each other that ultimately causes the best results. You know, when the news of the explosion broke out, every Muslim feared that it was a Muslim who did it. They were scared they'll be harassed and stereotyped against. The Tamils, they prayed that it wasn't the Tigers. They were scared they'll be harassed or targeted. Everyone feared it. This is the reality. Terrorism really does not have a religion. It is something separate. When the perpetrators were identified, none of the Muslims said, our people did it. What they said was, our people died in it. It's different. We did not claim the perpetrators to be one of us, but we claim the victims to be one of us. So we also felt sad for the victims just as much as everybody else, and none of us were any less than happy that those twisted morons were caught by the police. People from every belief, especially the Muslims all around the world, fear a few radicals defaming the entire religion community. It's a constant fear that's in our hearts. I mean, Muslims died in the explosion too, right? So how is it religious in any way? How do you think that it can have any religious motive ever if Muslims died in it too? I mean, everyone fully condemns these actions. But we are unable to show our criticism outside. We are unable to show our sympathy to our fellow Christians because the country is still in turmoil. The forces are asking us not to leave the houses. The forces are asking us not to gather out on the streets. So it's obvious why people can't come out and show their solidarity. You know, why can't we just get together and find the culprits together? I mean, help find the culprits in any way we can. Why can't we help the victims together? Do we really have to separate 10% of the population aside? Do we really have to put them aside even though that 10% also worries about the issues just as much as everybody else? I mean, people blaming either the Muslim society or the Tamil society for violence because it is considered as their society, not our society. It is divided. Time and time again it's divided. You see, this case is not about terrorists or what their beliefs are, because that's a clear-cut case. terrorist radical beliefs. It's about us and them. Again and again, it's just us and them. We're different, they're different. That's all. It comes down to that. I mean, I'm asking you, how can we move forward by an us and them mentality? See, a country is not built on papers and documents. It's built on people. It's built in your mindset. It's built on diversity. It's built on unity. But all of this today is divided. This is a country with so many languages spoken, and with so many beliefs accepted, so much so that even the flag proudly shows off its diversity. How this country can have a few people that are taunting others based on prejudice, really don't understand. Why is it that anyone who has a beard or a veil on their head, or covering their faces, or resemble an ideal Muslim character, have to prove their innocence in any way? Isn't the law innocent until proven guilty true? I mean, everyone pays their taxes, casts their vote, and lives like every other citizen. When a difference is not made then, why should there be a difference now? You see, terrorism by definition is the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in pursuit of political aims. And I honestly can't find religion or Islam in this definition. You see, the real reason a lot of these things, Islam is used as an excuse to cover terrorist acts done with ulterior motives. And the sooner we acknowledge this, that Islam is being used as an excuse, the better it is. You see, terrorism is a criminal act, not a communal act. Guilt lies on an individual level, not collective level. We need to understand this. That the guys who made the mistake, they deserve to be punished. Punished in the worst way possible. But not the community, who didn't do anything wrong. You know, it is similar to certain radicals saying all men, just because a few rape cases happen, they start blaming all men. And almost all the men come forward and say, how can you blame all men just because of a few guys being crazy? And that's the truth. It just applies here as well, right? You cannot blame everybody just because of one person or a few people's mistakes. It's not fair. Again, dividing the population by us and them would never bring us to our goal of making this the best country in the world. Us and them don't make this country. We don't. Us and them don't make this country. We make this country. Us and them does not make this country. We make this country. The sooner we get to know that, the sooner we realize that, the better it is for us. And talking about what Islam's stance is on this particular subject, you see, Islam is based on the Quran and the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's actions and words. And just to narrate an incident that happened during the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, just to show how he treated everybody else, was towards the end of his life, there was an old Jewish lady who gave him some food as a gift. He did not know it, but she had mixed poison in that food just because she hated him. He didn't know it. He ate, and there was one of his companions was beside him, so courtesy's sake, he offered him too. And this companion ate a little more than the Prophet, hence causing the companion to die quickly. The Prophet, however, did not die quickly. He survived, but he fell sick, and that sickness eventually led to his death. He realized that it was poison. It was too late. He had swallowed it. His companions were enraged because our beloved Prophet was in a life-and-death situation because of one lady. They said, we have to kill her. She's done a heinous crime. We have to kill her. Well, you know what the Prophet said? He said, no, don't. Because he chose to forgive her. He forgave a Jewish lady who intended to kill him. Who not just intended, but which eventually in some sources led to his death. If he forgave someone who poisoned him, then I think it's pretty obvious what Islam says about treating those who want to live in peace with you. You see, we strongly believe in forgiving everyone, and it's not fair and it's not logical or doesn't make any sense to take revenge on anybody innocent just because of a few actions done by a radical or few radicals who happen to be the same community. I'm reiterating myself here. We are extremely thankful to the 90% of the Sri Lankan population for standing by us. But as for the remaining 10%, we are not angry at them. We hope to make a change with love. Again, I'm calling out to the youth here. The youth makes the biggest impact on society. Let's stand together and help the affected. Let's help stop any further issues the way we can. And also, let's stop certain groups taunting and harassing others. We are stronger than an Instagram post for sure. Let's do this together. I don't care what faith you are. I don't care if you're poor or rich. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl. As long as you're Sri Lankan, we need you. Much love from here. Love you all. Stay safe during these tough times and take care. Peace, peace, and again peace.